The urban pilgrimage is at first something that I really didn't want to do. It was, Gabe suggested that I do it. My parents suggested that I did it. And I still chose to do it. And it ended up being one of the best experiences I've ever had. And it was, it taught me two things. One, that what is right is not usually easy, and that love is stronger than hate. And it doesn't sound like something that should be complicated, but it is. The first, I think, full day we were there, we sat down as a group and we talked about race. And we discussed what that meant to us and what that meant, what that has meant through history. And it's not something that's easy to talk about with people, but it's something that's necessary to talk about, because if you just ignore it or pretend it isn't there, the problem doesn't go away. So right off the bat, the pilgrimage was difficult. It was difficult to sit down and talk to people and discuss your opinions with people who didn't agree with you. But that's just something that you have to do. Another thing that we did is that we walked through downtown LA on an urban safari, and we saw things, and we had goals that we had to complete. We had a paper with a list of things that we had to do, and one of them was sit down with a homeless person and buy them a snack or a meal. And I think for most people, that's not something that you would just choose to do. It's not something that you would go out and say, you know, I'm going to buy something for somebody who has nothing. It's a tough thing to do, and it was a tough thing for us to all, we went out in small groups, and it was tough for us to find somebody that we felt like we could approach and we could talk to. And when we did, we bought this man and his friend lunch, these two of them, and we sat down and we talked with them. And it humanized an entire population that I'd never seen quite at that level before. We had to sit down and we had to really listen to what this man was saying. His name was Ray, and I forgot which state he came from. Came from some state way off in the southern part of the country. It was just amazing that this guy had come so far. He had one leg, and then not even a full prosthetic leg, was something that he could use to walk around on. And he sat down and he talked with us, and he was very friendly with us, and he was very nice to us, but he was very to the point. And he was very certain of what he was saying. He said, I'm not any better than you, you're not any better than me. So why am I the one sitting here on the street? And it was interesting because oftentimes, and I was told this because I don't have much experience with this, but oftentimes homeless people are embarrassed to get help or to talk to you. And he wasn't. He was very upfront about it. And when these two other men showed up, other homeless men, they started insulting him, and he sort of pulled our chaperone Tim, who was and he was the one leading our group, and Ray pulled him aside and said, these are my friends, but they're not the kinds of friends you want to know. And he said, you guys need to leave. And it scared us. It scared all of us in the group, because we had to just get up. We just had to go, because he was looking out for us. And that was not easy. But if I hadn't done it, I wouldn't know that there's a human side to the homeless population that I just kept out of sight and out of mind for so long. The other big thing, that love is stronger than hate. We learned in multiple places, but it was most apparent, I think, at Midnight Mission, where we served meals for the homeless, and at First AME Church, where we, instead of cursing out or damning the shooter of the South Carolina shootings, we showed our love and appreciation for the victims, which is something I think that is often overlooked in situations like that. At Midnight Mission, we met a man who was working there, but had come there as a drug user and as a homeless person with nothing left. And all he had to do was just surrender himself to their help, just start to love things again. And they turned him around, and when we first met him, I would never have guessed that that was his background. It was just stunning. Everything that I saw was so eye-opening and so breathtaking that it was tough. But it needed to be done, and I'm really glad that I had that experience. And that's it.